talk about, what am I going to talk about? All right. I'd like to talk about the importance of desire in your career, if it's a music career, for instance. This is something I did not do. I was not a musician as a career. I did something else. Austin Skinner has a great YouTube channel that is kind of in the infancy stages. He's only maybe got 300 followers. He'll get a lot more, I'm sure of that. He's just started out maybe on YouTube as far as really trying to build a following, and you guys should check him out. He lives in Nashville. He's an artist. He's got some great stuff to say, and he speaks from the heart, and he just tells it like it is. And it was his video that prompted me to talk about this. And I'm going to put a link to Austin's video down in the comments here. I am not a musician as far as a profession like he is. He was talking about what would be involved in the Nashville scene if you're there as a musician. The video is called something like, "So You Want to Move to Nashville." And he said some of the people in his comments have asked him about this. What is it? What would happen if what would it be like to come to Nashville as a musician? So he goes into a lot of good detail in this video. And so as I was watching this, I was just thinking, this is great stuff. It's quite interesting to me. Okay, I'm a 62-year-old man. I'm about to retire. I did not have a career in music. I'm a casual musician. I play every week in church. I gig once in a while. And so this is not for me. But if you were young, or say when I was young, when I was 20, maybe even when I was 30 before I met my wife, I might have been thinking, maybe I could do this. And so he's talking about that, what you would do there in Nashville if you were trying to make it on the scene. And I'm thinking to myself that, yeah, that's fine for him to say. He went to music college and everything. He's been playing for a long time. He's gigging forever. Are the people watching this channel really, are we in that same league? I know I'm not. There's probably people that aren't as experienced as I am that are also, getting into what he's saying there. But I just did not feel that this message was for most of us, armchair musicians, I guess you would say. And so I made a comment on his video, trying to get at that idea that there's got to be a great respect for the level of musicianship of the people who are in Nashville. If you go there, you better know what you're doing, was kind of my feeling as I made this comment. I was trying to get him to flesh that out a little bit. And his reply surprised me. His reply surprised me in that he didn't get into that. I thought he would jump on it and say, yeah, you better really have your stuff together if you come out here. Which is true, I'm sure. So my question was along the lines of, did you have to really assess yourself and say, am I ready for this? And the way he replied was, you can't be ready. You just come out and jump in and sink or swim. There's no way to prepare. There's no way to know. He didn't say this, but I'm inferring it. There's no way to really know what it's going to be like until you get there. And that's the way to find out. And so, interestingly enough, he really didn't warn against people wanting to come out and try it. I think if you do, you've got to pay the price, of course, but the very fact that you want to do this, that you're willing to say move to Nashville and do it, kind of indicates you may have what it takes to make it on that scene there. And you'll find out. That's how you'll find out. There's no other way to find out. And if you're there, if you're doing this full time, I'm assuming you can play to some extent, you gig to some extent. If you come there with that background, you'll see what is needed, you'll practice, and you'll get better quickly, or else you'll just give up and go back home. He said, give it 5 years. And yeah, I think after 5 years, you would know whether this is for you or not. And I honestly think if it is for you, if you came out, whatever your preparation was, I won't even say preparation, whatever your level was, assuming you can play to some extent, if you came out and saw what was going on there and started working at it, and stayed there 5 years, I think you would come up to speed. Either that or you just say, I can't do this, and you'd go home. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think his focus is correct. You got to jump in and sink or swim. And so this is you know, I'm a fine one to give advice sitting here at retirement age where, this is not something I'm going to do. But if you're young and if you think this might be you, you might want to think about it. Think about if this is what you want to do. If you plan to work in music, it will do you good to go to where the work is. And that's the scene he was describing there in Nashville. And I'm not talking about making it as a star. I mean, I'm no expert, obviously. I'm no expert at all. But you've got to understand, like what he's doing is, I guess you would say, in the music support scene, touring with artists, lesser known artists maybe even, and playing, gigs downtown Nashville, doing some studio work, doing some work for songwriters who are pitching songs. This is the sort of life you might be thinking about. This is making it in the music industry. It's not being the big star. I mean, some people, very few, will be the stars, but there's quite a number of people behind them that are working as musicians, and that's what I'm talking about here. So if you want to work as a musician, you need to go where the work is. And I think you shouldn't be intimidated about that the way I was originally thinking you ought to be for a big place like Nashville, because if you go there and work, you'll find out if you can do it or not. If this is what you want to do, you really lose nothing by trying. So anyway, that's just my thoughts for the day. I'm curious, some of you young guys out there, you young guys and gals, if this will get you to thinking a little bit about the possibilities. I don't think the bar of entry is maybe quite as high to go and just try it out, as long as you're determined, as long as you're committed. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. It helps the channel if you liked this, and I'll see you next time.